Missing someone. Love with all your heart. Missing someone. Love with heart.
So it's something you did recently, and I know you might defer because it's not blonde.
Oh, okay.
So I want to do like the mauve, that small brown that you did before.
Do you want to blend and bring this up?
Yeah.
The same?
Yeah.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So this client, she's been coming to me for a couple years now, and we always do something a little bit different every time she comes in, but she always comes in for her like 4-month root touch-up maintenance, and the only thing that we kind of change each time is we can always change the tone of her color and make it fun so that she feels like she's getting something a little bit different each time that she comes in. So in our consultation, she showed me a picture of a color that I have done before. She showed it straight off my Instagram feed, and she wanted to do something that was going to be like more of a mauvey tone. So the past few times that we've done her hair, we've always kind of tried to do something more, get her a little bit blonder, a little bit lighter, and more on the silvery side. But from her last appointment, she felt like it was a little bit too light, a little bit too much maintenance. So she wanted to do something a little bit darker, and she ultimately chose to do more of a darker mauvey tone, which I think is perfect against what she lifts, because since she waits the 4 months, I feel like a perfect mauve tone that's smoky enough would last her a little bit longer and also just help cancel out a lot of that yellow and fade out really pretty by the time that she's due for her next root touch-up. So quickly, if you're new, I am using the Danger Jones powder lightener. This lightener has 9+ levels of lift. And since we're doing a full highlight, I will start off with a bowl of 5 volume mixed in with 20 volume, and then after that first bowl, I just use the standard 20 volume for the rest of the application. I mix that 1 to 2 with developer. And I start in the back always, and I'll do a detail hairline around the nape of the hairline in the back, and I take a center parting up the mohawk of the head from the back to the front. And I like to take this center parting because I like to just use and just do the whole back in one go, and then connect the back with the sides later on after I finish the money piece. So as I'm going through, she likes something that is going to grow out soft, so we are picking out and slicing and picking out the pieces that have the longest root. That's how we kind of get that effect to where her ends are lighter than the root as far as the blend, and that's also how we kind of keep the ends more on the solid side as well too. So you can see I'm custom cutting my foils to the length of her hair and trying to pick out all of the dark that's coming through those mid-lengths and ends if necessary. And then my client loves to have a good money piece, so I'm going in and pretty much just doing slices around her hairline here and some back-to-back weaves to kind of give her more of a bolder money piece, to kind of give it so that the color is a little bit lighter around the face. This is something that is really important to ask your client whenever you start any type of color, because this kind of is what they see first when they look at themselves in the mirror and check out their hair color. And so I feel like this part is extremely important, and the placement of it matters a lot. So since I normally do slices in the back, some money piece placements that I'll do is sometimes if I want like a slightly soft but little bit lighter in the front, I'll do 3 baby lights back to back. If I want something a little bit bolder, I might incorporate a few slices there, here and there, like maybe the first one might be a slice and then the last 2 might be a weave. But if I have a client that doesn't want the front to be lighter, I typically don't slice the hairline because I just feel like it gives it kind of a harsher grow out. So even though I slice the back, the way that I would approach these front pieces is I would just do 2 baby lights to kind of melt that together and blend that, and then just kind of continue my slicing pattern and connect those 2 baby lights at the hairline to the back and rest of the mohawk section of the head. So now you can see I'm connecting the front and the side. So I'm connecting that money piece on the sides of her hairline here. And I did the first one as a slice, and then the second one is more of a weave to kind of soften that connection and blend. And then I'm going to do a weave right above the ear. And this part I always weave, because this part connects the section or the foil to the first nape foil that I did originally when I first started doing her head. And so I always weave the nape, and I always weave right above the ear here. I never like to slice it because I just feel like it can give a harsher grow out if you do slice it. But beyond that, above that, I will go and continue my slicing pattern. So you can see I'm actively picking out any previous highlights, and then also picking out the really dark long pieces, because I want to get those and make her mid lengths and ends more solid each time that she comes in, because again, she only waits about like every 4 months. I see her every 4 months for her touch-ups, which is totally fine. It just gives a more dimensional look, and whenever we do her touch-up, we have to do more of like a full application like this every time. Otherwise, her hair overall will get darker really quickly. And so for my clients that wait over the 3 months, I always have to do more of like a full application like this if they want to be more on the blonder side. And I would say that this client has like a normal amount of hair. She does have, I would say, medium textured hair, and it's not like super coarse and it's not super thin. I would say it's pretty medium, and she does have a good amount of hair. It's not thin, but it's not like insanely thick either. And this took me probably about 40 to 45 minutes to foil all of this. And that's honestly one of the main reasons why I love this placement, because I am able to get through it quite quickly. I'm not rushing or anything like that. I am taking my time, and you can see this clip is sped up, but I am going through and carefully picking out and making sure that I'm trying to lighten only the dark pieces and trying to avoid any previously lightened ends. So regardless of whatever tone we do, I always like to lift this client past like a level 8. I always try to aim for like a level 9 and 10. And the reason being is because her hair is naturally like a level 3. And considering that she comes in every 4 months, I want this to fade out and last her the longest. Like by that 3 or 4 month mark, the toner is pretty much completely washed out, and so she's kind of just left with whatever she's lifted to. And I feel like if the lift isn't pretty, then she's not going to love her hair, because essentially a client is really living with the fade more than the fresh color. So to me, whenever I am doing hair color on any of my clients, my most important priority is to focus on what the hair is going to look like when it's faded, and if the client is going to love it when it's faded out. And I'm not really the hairstylist that is trying to get my clients in as soon as possible. I'm more of the hairstylist that is trying to have my clients wait as long as possible and get the most out of their color, because that's just kind of like my vibe. I like that. That's just the type of hair color that I like. And I find that when a client is able to go like a little bit longer and have it grow out and make it so that they love their hair beyond the 3 month mark, that's great. And I feel like I did a good job, because I lifted their hair to the perfect level to where they feel like they could still wear it even after the toner has completely faded out. So the picture that this client originally showed me of a different client's Mauvy tone, I couldn't use the same formula because that other client came in with a different canvas. So the client that I have in my chair today, she has a bit of a more warmer canvas. She doesn't really use purple shampoo a lot, which is totally fine. I don't mind clients whether they use it or not. But the other client that she did show me her picture, she always comes in very ashy. So I had to reformulate a different type of formulation to kind of achieve the same type of look. So for her root formula, and sorry in advance, I am mixing different color brands for this color, and that was honestly the only way that I could achieve the exact tone that she wanted. So just fair warning, there's a couple different brands that I will be sharing for this formula. So the root shadow, I am using Redken Shades EQ. I did a 6T, which is a level 6 blue, and that's kind of my go-to for a lot of root shadows in my opinion, because I feel like it just blurs out those lines from my slices very well and fades out really pretty when everything is all done. And then for the ends, I did the Pulp Bright Rapid Toners. I did 30 grams of violet to 20 grams of rose gold. And then I added some of the Shades EQ 8VB to kind of give it a little bit more of a darker depth tone, because I felt like the rapid tones on its own wasn't going to be dark enough. So I just added that in as like a booster, and the 8VB is more of like a darker purpley gray tone, if anything, and it's just really pretty and was able to smoke out and darken and give this color a little bit more depth than what it originally had.
Oh snap! Oh my god! Oh, this is great! Yes! So much better. So much better than the brassy one. That for one stone. Thank you, thank you!
So here is the end result. I feel like it looked absolutely gorgeous, and this is going to fade out so perfect on her because of the more of that mauvey, pinkish and slight violet undertone in her hair. And yes, it is going to fade a little bit similar to what she came in with, but it is just going to take a little bit longer to fade out because we did more of a darker tone than what we normally do, and because of the way that we blended her roots and that beautiful shadow root, this is going to fade out and grow out very seamlessly and soft before she comes in for her next 4-month touch up. Alrighty guys, that is it for this week's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in, and as always, I will talk to you guys next week.